In the latest of our video interviews with some of the members of the LTS team, today I am joined by Dr. Claudia Schaefer, who is Corporate Senior Vice President of Production. Claudia, good to see you. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine, thanks. Hi, Paul.
Good to
Thanks for
see you.
having me today.
Not at all, not at all. That very impressive photograph behind you kind of suggests what you do. But before we get started, perhaps you could tell us a little more about what's been a really exciting career to date at LTS and also what you do, what your current role is.
Yeah, sure. Like many of my colleagues at LTS, I'm a pharmacist by training, with a specialization in pharmaceutical technology. And I've actually spent the last 20 years already with LTS in different roles. So for the first 5 years, I was head of an R&D lab with focus mainly on the development of oral thin film formulations. And afterwards, I moved to the production department, first as a deputy, and then since 2009 as head of production, being responsible for all the production-related GMP activities at the Andernach site. Besides the responsibility for the quality part, which is obviously key for LTS and also for our customers, it's also part of my role to drive continuous improvement activities with focus on both the quality and the efficiency part. Yes, and finally, since beginning of last year, I'm also member of the global leadership team at LTS.
So I'm going to embarrass you a little bit now by saying that certainly in my mind, you're one of the female role models within the organization. You've achieved a huge amount in a short period of time. So I know you don't want to hear that, but I thought I'd throw that in anyway. Speaking of remarkable achievements, 2022 was a pretty remarkable year for LTS in terms of production volumes. I think I'm right in saying you delivered about 10% more systems than you'd ever produced before. And indeed, this year, 2023, is projected to be even busier. How do you prepare for that?
Yeah, that's right. First of all, 2022 was really a very special and very successful year, just specifically from the production point of view, but also for the whole LTS organization. You mentioned that compared to 2021, we were even able to increase our output by 27%, which was a really significant increase. And also, you said that we exceeded our all-time production record in number of individually packaged systems. That demand increase was mainly driven by two of our well-established product families, which are the hormone replacement therapy to support women's health in the peri- and postmenopausal stages of their lives. And secondly, also the nicotine patches to support smoking cessation. And I have to say, I'm really grateful for the dedication of our employees in the operational, but also in the supporting areas, that we were able to realize such a significant output increase within that short time frame. That required a lot of extra shifts on weekends and overtime, and that in a difficult working environment. If you think, for example, about the first half year last year was severely impacted still by the corona pandemic, and throughout the last year, and actually still now, we have had some difficulties to fill our vacancies because we see a pronounced shortage of skilled laborers in the German labor market. And to be able to realize the goals, the even more ambitious goals for 2023, we are therefore continuing to hire to support that growth. And in parallel, also striving for optimization of our processes to use our resources as efficiently as possible. And also, when we think about the projected sustainable growth in the hormone replacement therapy area, we are investing in additional production machinery and related infrastructure. And all these activities are currently underway.
So one of the you've touched on the subject of continuous improvement a couple of times, and that is a sort of key part of your role now in terms of delivering greater efficiencies, delivering greater quality, improving the utilization of your people. I know there's a digitization project being undertaken right now. What was the sort of rationale for that, and what do you see the benefits of that being as you face these challenges in 2023?
Yeah, that's correct. And we are currently in the final stage of implementation of this so far largest digitalization project that we had in our production area at LTS, which affects various aspects within our internal logistical but also production processes. And we split this, it's a big project. We split it in two phases. Phase one was completed in 2021. And as part of this phase, we have developed, together with an external service provider, a so-called manufacturing execution system, so a software tool which is completely integrated in SAP. That's our ERP system, and serves as interface between our production lines and the SAP system. And that required an upgrade, a significant upgrade of our digital infrastructure to be able to connect 92 machines and workstations to the SAP system, and also equipping those workstations for roughly 300 users, which required installation of tablets, scanners, touch monitors, digital infrastructure networks, and so on. And this system enables us to digitally and automatically record the machine status in real time and replace thereby manual records. So machines is running or machine is not running, that's recorded. And if machine is not running, we register the downtime reasons. The operators have to enter the downtime reasons. And that is then, that data that we acquire is then part of our daily shop floor management activities, where we decide about immediate actions. And also we have data that allow us to see trends in the machine performance and also to analyze the results of our improvement measures. So this first phase, that was all done already in the first phase, where we have as main benefits the automatic data generation from our lines, replacement of manual production records, access to data in real time, and all that to support our lean production organization. And now in the second phase, where we are currently in the final stage of software validation and testing and validation, we will in addition tackle some more material logistical aspects, which are also improving our material handling from a GMP, so from a quality point of view. We have, for example, equipped all our material staging areas within our production with digital or with 2D matrix codes, so they are digitally recorded and labeled, so that the operators on the line, they do not only receive their process order on their tablet, but also the related bill of material, and for those materials, the precise location within our production area, so they can target the location, scan it, scan the material, and thereby digitally verify that the material is correct and the status of the material is correct. So we reduce search time and eliminate also sources of error. And another aspect of this digitalization project is that after we've consumed the materials in our process orders, we directly enter the consumption in the software system, and that translates then into SAP, so that we also we remove manual records, and also the data collection the speed is higher, it's faster, and the data integrity at that point in time is improved. So finally, for our batch production records, the part which is about the material reconciliation will in the future be automatically generated out of the system for the material verification and the consumption steps. So that is a huge optimization of our internal material logistic, improvement of our GMP standard, and at the end, that reduces also the effort for the documentation review, which is a subsequent step after the production. So in general, we see that this digitalization project, but also all the other activities in that field, are really key to have compliant and efficient pharmaceutical processes.
It sounds a huge undertaking, and whilst change is exciting for some, it's probably a little bit frightening too. And there's the sort of physical implementation of this, but also there's actually a cultural shift here, isn't there, in terms of new ways of working, which can be, as I say, frightening for some. How are you managing that aspect?
Yes, indeed, that is really a crucial point, which we are approaching now during our implementation phase. Already during the different steps of software testing and development, we have formed interdisciplinary teams consisting of colleagues from production, planning, logistic, quality, lean team, and also, that is the most important part, involved as many shop floor people as possible in that activity. On the one hand, this allows us to directly incorporate their feedback or the feedback of those people who later on work with the software into the software design. And on the other hand, those people act as multipliers and trainers during the implementation phase, during the rollout, and later on also as key users, which are then contact points to help others to use the software. And we have planned about 40 training sessions in really small groups, so maximum eight people plus 2 trainers, and also set up those trainings shortly before those departments have their actual go live with the software. So to have not a big time frame between training and implementation. And what adds a little bit of extra complexity, we have to do that over all 3 production shifts. So we are running in 3-shift operation, and all the shifts have to be trained then shortly before their go live. And also we divided this implementation in different steps according to our production departments. So not all at the same times. We start with a comparatively small group, which is our internal print shop group, only 7 operators. They receive a classroom training with 2 trainers, and in addition, we have prepared a lot of video training material specifically for the computer-based aspects, for the SAP-based actions they have to do. And through all these measures, we on the one hand want to understand and learn where problems might occur, and then actively address that and eliminate it before we roll out to the next department. And also we think that by this step-by-step training, with the involvement of shop floor colleagues, we are able to reach all employees in the best possible way. And also we want to understand the concerns, provide assistance, because as you said, it's really clear that their way of working changes significantly. And it's also important for us during those training sessions, but also when we talk about this project, that we convey the message that this project is intended to support our processes and to support our operators, and minimize stress, reduce search times and so on, and also eliminate sources of error. So and finally, we also planned for resources for this post-implementation phase, so the hypercare phase, in order to really consolidate the new processes, the knowledge, and enable then a smooth transition into routine.
So, not only are you making more systems than you've ever made before, not only have you undertaken a continuous improvement project, not only are you doing extensive training for your people, you've also decided, as if that isn't enough, that LTS should undertake an automation project too. I'd love to know what you do the rest of the week. What does the automation project look like, and what do you see as being the sort of challenges and benefits associated with that?
Yeah, right. Yeah, and actually, it's the engineering department who has the lead in these automation activities. We have within LTS a strong engineering team, also with in-house capabilities for machine engineering, so own design of machines, which is really important to support our customized production processes, especially when we are looking into our die cutting and pouching steps, or the primary packaging steps of our transdermal and oral systems and oral thin films. And some years ago already, we established a separate team. It's called the POTI team, Process Optimization and Technology Integration team, which specializes in machine design, automation, supporting our manufacturing processes. And they have developed a machine actually to automate the so-called tertiary packaging, which is so far a purely manual process and also very labor intensive, to realize another packaging, a further outer packaging of the folding boxes, which are normally the final pack, but for some markets, like the German markets, in some configurations, also this tertiary packaging is required. And to do this, they have designed a robotic assisted packaging line, which is placed then at the end of our secondary lines. And this machine then identifies the tertiary pack, unfolds it, and collects a predefined number of secondary boxes, place it into the tertiary box, closing, and then transfer the closed box to the next process step, which might then include labeling, tamper evident labeling, or printing of variable data, serialization, and so on. And what is specific about this machine is also, or specific feature is that the machine can automatically self-adjust on the required format based on the material code and the underlying recipe. So not only does it replace some manual work, but also the setup of the machine from order to order is highly automized. And in that way, we can automate several steps and save time and capacity on our cartoning lines. And obviously, that is only one example of various ongoing activities, but it is the one with the closest implementation date. So we hope that we receive the machine in our production around summer this year.
So I started this interview by asking how are you going to manage another uplift in 2023. It sounds like you're in great shape.
Yeah, we think so. We hope so. Yeah, and we are looking forward to manage the even further growth that we see in 2023 by the combination of all the activities that we've discussed now.
Perfect, super. Claudia, thank you ever so much for your time. It sounds like you're a little busy, so I appreciate the time. And hopefully we'll catch up soon.
Thank you very much, Paul. Yeah, and have a great day.